Rejuvenate, restore, refresh, and heal. At Fantuzo Acupuncture, we seek to help achieve effective health and wellness in an elegant spa-like atmosphere. Fantuzo Acupuncture specializes in traditional acupuncture, cosmetic anti-aging acupuncture, acupressure, cupping, CBD topical creams, and more. Approach healthcare holistically. Visit FantuzoAcupuncture.com to book online today. FantuzoAcupuncture.com.
From attic to basement, we're here for you. It's quality service in all we do. Call Taylor. 500 help.
That's right, Taylor, 500 help, one of our big advertisers here on the We the People Podcast Network, and we appreciate them. Call Taylor to get yourself ready for those fall temperatures that are coming very quickly. We know it's still warm today, kind of humid. You need that air conditioning, and Taylor can help you with that. But you can call Taylor now for their Plumbing Safety Essentials Plus plan. Save $100 on a Bradford white water heater. Get free diagnostic fees, no overtime charges, or emergency repairs with an additional 15% discount. The thing I love is that Taylor has been around since 1947 doing great work here in the Rochester area. Whatever you need, duct cleaning, air conditioning, heating, plumbing, home energy, comprehensive maintenance plans. It's Taylor 500 help, and we have taken advantage of them here at the We the People Podcast Network, and we hope you do as well. Precision Lawn and Garden for the best lawn in town. You want to go see my friends Kimberly and Justin, Rochester's lawn service specialists since 1969, providing Rochester and surrounding areas professional sales, service, and parts. And I'll tell you what, you want to get that snowblower, get it ready. Winter is coming here in Rochester in about probably 3 weeks. So just, check your calendar. Chainsaws, snowblowers, blowers, they have in-stock models, on-sale models. Precision Lawn and Garden in Webster. And you want to get your driveway done before it gets too cold, right? You want to Express Sealers. They're the guys that can do it for you. Makes your curb appeal look amazing. Call Express Sealers to come out and do your driveway. It's not pretty when it's all, crumbling up and there's weeds coming up through it. Brian and the guys can get that taken care of for you. So call Express Sealers today. 645-2010, 645-2010. And please support our advertisers because they support the We the People Podcast Network and Kimberly's Revolution.
Live from the We the People broadcast studio in cloudy, chilly 66-degree Irondequoit.
Hello.
What do you get when you cross a media personality with an attorney? You get Kimberly and Chad.
Chaos. You get craziness. You get drama. You get fun. You get entertainment. And you get a whole lot of information. That's what you get. That's what you get all day long.
Does your shirt say tax the rich? What does that say?
That does.
Yes.
That red print all over that white shirt. It says tax the rich.
Yeah.
It should say tax the stupid is what it should say.
It should say I'm a hypocrite is what AOC's dress should have said. Definitely.
A loser.
She was looking pretty sexy in that dress.
Yeah. Wasn't she?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I'm sure she paid for that dress along with a $30,000 ticket it takes to go to the Met Gala.
I don't think so.
Hello, I'm very fancy.
We're going to have one of those on the 24th, right?
Yes, we're having a gala.
In the parking lot.
Is it a gala or is it a gala? I never know. Is
It's
it
gonna be
tomato? Is it tomato?
It's more like a keg party.
It's going to be a parking lot keg party.
Yeah. That's how I roll.
Under a couple pop-up tents.
I've always been white trash. Why change now?
Yeah.
Why not just roll with what I know?
We're going to hook a couple boats together.
Well, I've been there before. I've been there. Hook a couple of boats. I told you my daughter bought a boat, right?
Yes.
And now
What
she's
kind?
I
want a boat.
I don't know, a boat. One of those boats that goes on
Did
Lake
she
Ontario.
stick with the name?
Floats?
Did she stick with the name that was on the boat?
She did, because it's
that's
bad luck to change the name of the boat
That's
after
the
you buy the
stupidest
boat.
thing I've ever heard. If I buy a boat, I'm changing the name to what I want my boat to be named.
Okay, then you sink out in the middle of Lake Ontario.
I'm going to
That's
sink.
what'll
I
happen.
will anyway. Trust me.
Yeah, I told you. So here's what she's learned about being a boat owner and also being a police officer. She's got to work a lot of weekends. And guess when the best time to go out on a boat is?
In midnight.
The weekends.
Tuesdays.
And then the weekends she has off, it's raining.
That's awesome. Yeah, that happens.
I'm like, that's
That
what you
usually
get
happens right after you buy the boat.
for spending the money on the boat. Yeah, exactly.
You really don't know what kind of boat she got? How big it
it's
is?
a big boat.
23 feet.
I don't know.
All right, you're a
It's
good
about-
mom. All right, good story. Good story.
It's a boat. There's life jackets.
What's
on
next
the boat.
on your list over there?
No. So I am Kimberly. Of course, you're listening to and watching Kimberly's Revolution in the We the People podcast studios. Across from me is Chad Hummel, who is forever running around getting into some kind of a mess.
Right.
And then there's Just Tom. Just Tom is joining us today. And
I have a question for you, Kimberly.
Yes.
Are we in a cult?
Yeah. Are we in a cult?
I don't know.
The
Just
We the
wondering.
People podcast network, is it a cult?
I don't know.
I don't feel like I come out of here brainwashed every day wanting to,
Okay.
drink the Kool-Aid or fly off on some tail of a comet.
I don't want to be in a cult. That's all I'm saying.
As long as it's not a sex cult, I'm okay.
Okay.
Is this a sex cult? Because that would be you.
What have you
Yeah.
guys been doing up here? I'm only here one day a week.
And Austin is here with us. As always, Austin is just as we left him, the lad. There he is.
The thumb of liberty.
Yeah. He's given the big thumbs up. We want to thank Fitz from Rockbox Productions. He is over in Bushnell's Basin. Fitz at Rockbox Productions made this whole thing kind of happen as we had the idea. And along with Fitz's help, we helped build the studio. So here we are today. If you are someone that wants to advertise on the We the People podcast network on any of the shows, and there are several shows within the network, then you absolutely can. And all you have to do is reach out to me at kgoodman@revererealty.com, or you can reach out to Tom.
Or instant message us.
Instant message us, and Austin will make sure that he, writes everything down like a good producer should. We got a lot of stuff to get to today. One, the Buffalo Bills. Two,
Screw them.
well, I just want to know, what do you do with a person accused of treason? And if they are found guilty of treason, what do you do?
Gallows.
And that's what I'm thinking.
Firing squad.
Firing squad. What did they do? Was it the Rosenbergs back in the day? They hung them, right? After World War II, they found out that they were spies, treasonous spies.
Yeah.
You just hang them. We got a general that might just be too good of treatment for him. I don't even know what's going on there, but he basically kind of put together almost what was like a coup of the Trump presidency at the White House back in January. And of course, what do you do if you're a journalist or an author or a former journalist and an author? What do you do when you find out about this information? Do you tell someone? Do you tell people that might be able to, get things done? Nope. You write a book and you make money off of it. That's the American way, by God.
You write a book and you convict yourself.
You're right. You write a book and you make a load of money and you go happily along your way.
You
And
donate some of it back to the DNC and then they let you off scot-free.
So
Isn't
how
that-
much?
isn't
So
that
how
funny?
much money would we make writing a book about you, Kimberly?
Zero.
Zero.
There's nothing.
There's
There
nothing
isn't.
there.
All right. So first off, let's give a little update on what's been going on with the mask situation for the person. And I know you really can't get into a lot of it, but you have a client in Macedon, and her name is Lane Milley.
Yes.
And she got into a fight with a bus monitor over her child, who's 9, who's special needs.
Mhm.
And it has blown up into this big ordeal now, and you're representing the family. What can you tell us? Has anything changed from yesterday when we talked to you on the Kimberly's Revolution podcast?
Nothing's changed on the criminal front as far as what the charges are. We still have to go to court and things are going to have to play out. But
I know there was a rally at the school
Yeah.
today, right?
just from a general matter, the superintendent out in Gananda right now, Sean Van Scoy, I have to hand it to him. The guy is clever. He knows what he's doing.
Really?
He is literally spinning a narrative and ginning up the community against this woman and her family in order to just create this perception
Mhm.
that she's the bad actor. And I might have alluded to this yesterday. Even if she is,
Right.
right? Even if she is guilty as charged,
Right.
which I don't believe she is, but even if she were, why is it the superintendent's role to do what he's doing right now? Why is he actively trying to make her out to be this bad person? He has her mugshot actively posted right now on social media accounts for the Gananda School
No,
District.
he does not.
He does.
Oh my goodness. Does he?
And today,
Did he learn nothing from Carm Gamina and Webster?
it's unreal.
You might take a look at that page out of the Webster playbook. It didn't end well for that superintendent.
Exactly.
He might want to rethink his actions just a little bit, because I think if you would talk to Carm Gamina now, he might have a different take on how he reacted to everything that was going on in the Webster School District. So I would say to the superintendent in Gananda, this might not end the way you think it's going to end.
You know what's really cool? The attorney that spoke for him on the news last night, one of the news networks ran the story. I was interviewed for the story, and the attorney that spoke on behalf of the district, it's funny because the news reports that had been released prior to that, the superintendent spoke for himself. Well, at some point, the attorney stepped in and said, we're going to take this from here.
We'll do the talking from now on.
But the attorney that spoke on his behalf, his name is Joe Shields.
Yeah.
He's the attorney that wrote me that letter, if you recall, telling me that my kids were going to go into the COVID isolation room if I didn't submit to their testing in East Irondequoit.
Oh, boy.
So how do you think this is going to go?
I don't know why they back you into a corner like that. Why,
yeah. So
why
Joe,
do they
Shields
need to push you like that?
Yeah. So Joe Shields is the attorney for Gananda. And so today, the reports were, the news reports, the social media chatter today was that some parents out in Gananda were going to peacefully assemble at the school district, and they were going to hold up signs and show some support, because it's okay for the superintendent to utilize district resources and weaponize district resources to make my client
an individual.
Yeah,
that's really
against
bad.
one of his own families in his district,
Yeah,
right?
that's bad.
He can do that.
That's bad.
But apparently it rubbed him the wrong way that parents might freely come to the school today and show support for this woman, and that maybe the students and the teachers might see another side to the story. So you know what he did? What he first did was he posted a meme. I guess meme's probably the wrong word. He basically posted a message with like this big red exclamation point, like warning.
Warning,
Yeah.
Bill Robinson, warning.
Exactly.
Warning.
He posts this warning on the district's website earlier today.
Nobody will get that except for kids in the 60s and 70s that watch that show, but
I didn't
nonetheless. You didn't get okay. Warning, Will Robinson.
He posts the warning that says, if anyone shows up to protest today and steps foot on school district property, they will be arrested for trespassing.
Oh my goodness.
So he's prospectively threatening parents.
Moms for Liberty showed up, said someone.
Yeah. People that have the right, a parent. What if a parent who has the right to be on school district property comes to the school district and he mistakes them for one of these so-called protesters?
And she's arrested.
And they're arrested.
Yeah.
And even the protester has a right to be there.
Yeah,
But
of course.
nonetheless, what if you're just there completely separate from the protest? But anyway, so he posts this warning. Then he doubles down. Then at some point during the day, he sends out an email to all district parents, letting them know that he's closing all schools at 1 p.m., that walkers will not be allowed to walk, and that children that I guess get bused to a YMCA out in the Macedon area, they would not be bused to the Macedon YMCA. They would be bused to the Penfield YMCA.
This is the wrong.
You're the parent that gets this message. What do you think's going on?
Go with this. Something's bad happening.
Active shooter, Columbine.
Yes. You're getting parents riled up for nothing.
But of course, as I started this all off, he's as clever as shit because he did exactly what he wanted to do.
Right.
He got all the parents to get scared and then to turn their anger not towards him,
to the mother,
who ginned this all up.
Yeah.
But now they're angry because all of their athletic events are canceled for tonight, right? And we all know that last year the kids missed all their athletic events for the most part, and the year before they missed a lot of them. So now they're just getting back into athletics, and now they've been canceled for tonight. It's absolutely immoral and disgusting what this man is doing right now.
And Christina Higley, you know Christina.
Oh, of course.
She said, and he turned off the comments so no one could comment.
Yes.
Well, and let me just say something, because someone said, isn't it illegal to post mugshots? It is not. I am like the queen of all mugshot posting.
No, it's not illegal at all.
It's not illegal to post the mugshots. In fact, they take the mugshots so that you can see the idiots that generally get arrested for doing stupid shit. So, basically, so that you can look at that and go, hey, look at that. You might want to avoid doing that because your picture is going to, go up. And again, I made a great living doing that for a very long time. And so, yeah, you can put, but it is very distasteful.
You think?
When a school district does it. Listen, I was a radio, host for a radio show that basically did stuff like that to get ratings. But that is not your job as a school district. That is definitely not your job.
Your job is to represent all of your families.
And by the way, she's not a child molester or someone who's out trying to kidnap children from that school. You would think that would be the mugshot. All parents be on the lookout for this person,
right?
This child molester, this kidnapper, this whatever. But she gets into a fight over a mask with a bus monitor, and now her mugshot is up on the school district website.
And you know what?
That is highly inappropriate.
She might even be innocent, as he taints the entire jury pool in the district.
I'm sure you're not
against
making
her.
notes. I'm sure you're not making notes.
It's unreal. Why would if he didn't have some sort of motive,
Yeah.
if he didn't have some sort of motive to either A, cover something up or to disparage this woman, then please somebody give me one remotely rational reason why he would be doing what he's doing right now. If he doesn't,
Sickening,
if he's
sickening.
not covering something up, what would he be doing?
Well,
What would be his defense? I'll entertain it. What
he-
would it be though?
He did like an entire bus of maskless kids and the coach doing a little TikTok video.
Oh, that was beautiful,
But
wasn't it?
he liked that video. I mean, physically, he had to go on TikTok and like it, which, that's never going away. That is never going away.
That's not going to age well.
So you have that. And the update on Shannon Joy, who is a member of the We the People podcast network.
Unfortunately, she went to prison last night.
She did not.
Everyone cried. Yeah. Sorry, Shannon. We'll come visit you.
She's a prison bitch.
So Chad, all I got to know is what the hell's wrong with you? How does she get off in 15 minutes and you've been doing it for 6 months? What the hell's wrong with you?
Yeah, that's not a good look. So Shannon Joy went out.
I can explain.
She was arrested for not wearing a mask by the Monroe County Sheriff's deputies. She went out last night to court, is our understanding, and all the charges were dropped. Is that right?
No, she went to prison.
She,
Oh, really?
she got her prison purse ready. You can fit a lot up there, ladies. I don't know if you know, but the prison purse is large.
Yes. all kidding aside, Christina. Yeah. So Christina just gave. I hate to do this, but Christina just said that. Oh my God, best comment ever, Tom. Thanks, Christina. Appreciate it. Much love to you.
Shannon gets off in the first 10 minutes, and
Right.
here you are battling all these months later.
It wasn't even 10 minutes. It was like 6.
6 minutes.
But you know what, though? Here's the thing. When I get my settlement in a couple years, it'll be like a couple million. Her settlement's going to be like $3. So I'm going to win in the long. I'm going to win this in the long run.
All your pain and suffering, right?
Yeah.
So I'm glad.
So she went to court. Yep. We went into court, and the funny thing is,
she's my spirit animal, by the way, Shannon. I mean, I love her. I mean, she's a little crazy, but I love her.
The DA's office, the district attorney's office, sends, and keep in mind, this is village court, right? This is night court. If you're over the age of 40, let's say, as an attorney, and you're still going to night court, and I can say this because I do, you're still kind of schlepping around, right?
Are you schlepping around?
Yeah, you're still kind of schlepping around if you're still going to night court.
Yeah.
When you're a district attorney, if you're still going to night court when you're 40, that means you screwed up really bad. And it's a shocker that you're even in the DA's office anymore.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of being facetious, but basically the way the hierarchy works.
Sandra, what's with your DA that was at night court?
The way it basically works is, when you come out of law school, if you get hired by the DA's office, you go to night court, you go to town court. It's where the violations are and the misdemeanors.
You learn, and you learn. Yeah.
Yeah. The attorney that I used to work for, his famous saying was, nobody dies in night court, right? There's no murders there. It's the low level stuff.
Sure.
So that's where you go to learn. You get some trial experience. And then if you are going to stick it out at the DA's office and you're good enough,
right,
you accelerate through the ranks. Then you go to city court, you get a bigger docket, and then you make your way up to county court where you handle felonies. And then maybe you become a bureau chief, where you handle major felonies and you get to supervise town court.
Right.
So the DA's office sends out one of their bureau chiefs.
Wow.
A supervisor and a high level, felony attorney. They sent out a bureau chief. So I'm sitting there in court for a good 30 minutes while the other cases were getting called first. And the whole time I'm thinking to myself, this is a great sign. If they sent out their bureau chief, that's because they plan to move to dismiss this.
Right.
And he wants to come out. He wants to be the one that puts it on the record, make sure it gets done properly. If this is just going to get kicked to the next court date, like most court dates do in town court,
like yours,
like mine, it's the regular calendar, as they call it, the regular calendar DA. So sure enough, the case gets called. The bureau chief stands up. Shannon's the attorney from Hogan and Willig that was making the physical appearance on Shannon's behalf. He enters the standard not guilty plea and asks for a new court date, a date to set it down for motions. He has no idea what's coming. The district bureau chief literally holds up his hand as if to tell the judge, well, hold on, we're not done here yet. Don't give her a next court date yet, because we're moving to withdraw and dismiss all the charges.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So,
and he
so
laid
you're
out,
saying that they're afraid of Shannon.
Apparently.
They're not afraid of Chad.
Yeah, no, I got nothing. I got nothing.
He's all bark and no bite.
Exactly.
Shannon will bite you hard.
That's right. Yeah. So in
That's good.
She
That's
probably
good for
still will, though.
the courtroom erupted in claps.
Maybe because they had
It was awesome.
halfway smart, individuals that they were working with their brains where she was in court last night. I mean, at least someone had some semblance of common sense.
Yeah.
Let's not waste our good court time on such ridiculousness, right? Isn't that what we want?
You think?
Yeah. I mean, in Irondequoit, they're wasting your time. They're wasting taxpayers' time. They're wasting everyone's time.
Will you guys come visit me in prison?
Yeah, sure.
I'm not coming, Chad.
I'll have to teach you how to use your prison purse.
Inga.
Yeah. You don't want to do that. We have a guy that's probably going to go to jail for a very long time. Next week it could be Friday. I could be doing a special podcast on Friday. Dr. Evil, you guys have read about this guy. He is Wartman. Yeah, right. He's up for Morris Wartman.
Wartman, yeah.
Wartman is the guy. The story has gone national. Doesn't he look like?
Oh, he's cute.
He looks like Spock, doesn't he? Like
he
Spock's
doesn't.
brother. He kind of does. This is an OBGYN doctor that has been practicing for a number of years in the Rochester area. Again, the story has gone national because the good doctor, the fertility specialist / OBGYN, turned into a serial sperm donor. He's one of these guys who had some kind of a God complex. And he thought, hey, all these women are coming in because they're having fertility issues. So why don't I just shoot them up with my own stuff?
What did you call it earlier when we were talking
baby
about
batter.
it? What did I tell you?
I don't ever want to hear that term
If I
again.
never hear that terminology for the rest of my life.
Yeah, he uses his own baby
Tom, who's
batter
your OBGYN?
to knock.
Christina, is that a better comment? Come on.
I'll take the fifth on that.
Yeah, he does look creepy, right?
Yeah.
Someone saying, and I'm not even going to say that because I don't know that to be. I don't know if he's the biggest abortion provider in the city. I don't have
All
that.
I know is he's a businessman.
He
He's
is.
just watching his bottom line. He doesn't have to pay for any donors.
So basically he had a God complex and he wanted to make more of him because how can the world be better? I'll just make more of me.
That's just cheaper. He made more money with
That's
it.
what these guys think about.
It's a great idea.
So, and all these women are coming forward now saying, oh my God, my mom went in for fertility treatments and here I am, and I'm this guy's either son or daughter. And it all came to be this huge lawsuit out of Morgan County because this woman, Miss Hellquist, says in her lawsuit that she confirmed she was the daughter of married 70-year-old Dr. Morris Wartman of Rochester, thanks partly to over-the-counter DNA testing. And here's the creepiest thing. Not only, I mean, there's a lot of creepy things about this story, but not only was he, fertilizing all these women that came in with his sperm, he also treated his own daughter years later.
Yeah, I heard that.
He, knowing full well it was his daughter, he was still giving her gynecological exams, knowing it was his daughter.
What a sick
Ew.
guy.
And brought his wife in to look at her just to say hi and blah, blah, blah. But the behind the scenes was the wife wanted to see what one of the other children looked like because they had 3 of their own. So the wife knew about this. The wife knew, and I don't know if she was on board with it, but the whole story is sickening. So a friend of mine.
Has he been charged criminally? What's the status of this matter?
Oh, yeah. He has been charged.
So is it safe to say that none of these kids look like Brad Pitt?
They look like him, which is scary. So yeah, there are numerous charges. So she's suing. A lawyer says that they're not commenting on the lawsuit. I assume he'll be brought up on criminal charges. But here's the thing. So a friend of mine was having some issues, went to see him in April, and basically he damn near killed her. And this didn't have anything to do with fertility, but it did have to do with scamming the system, scamming the medical system to get kickbacks. And so she is now speaking to an attorney. I know I talked to you about it. She was waiting on said attorney to call her back, but she's going to tell her story because what this guy did to her, I mean, again, nearly killed her. And she's going to be on the podcast on Friday to talk about it.
Look forward to it.
Her name's Janice.
Hey, guess what?
What?
My old man's in the studio.
He is. I know.
Mr. Robert E. Morgan.
Mr. Morgan. And he was wearing a...
He's wearing an awesome hat, isn't he?
He was wearing a hat, Make America Great Again. And I have one of those hats. In fact, that's the first thing I said to your father, Mr. Morgan, when he got out of the car. I said, hey, I didn't even know it was your father. I said, I have one of those hats. That looks good on you. And he's sitting right over in the corner.
So we're happy to have him here. Welcome, Pops.
He said he wanted to see how the whole thing worked.
Nice.
I still don't know how it all works.
I was going to say, do we even know how it works?
I have no idea how.
I do, but I'd have to kill you, Chad.
I have no idea. Hey, Kathy Hochul, who is a self-described Buffalo girl, has made it so you can't use your season tickets to Buffalo Bills games unless you're vaccinated.
Oops.
Isn't that nice of her?
Can I get a refund?
And they waited until the season started to let you know that. Kathy Hochul.
They gave you a little taste.
And the Erie County Commissioner said,
Mark Polinarts.
You're not going to the games unless you are vaccinated.
So what does that mean? You got to get to the games at 4 a.m. to get in there? How are you going to get 80,000 people through a gate checking everybody's vaccine card?
I don't know.
And who's qualified?
That is going to end badly, right?
Who's qualified to check those cards to make sure they're legit? I mean, there's some
medical professional is going to check everybody's card.
All I'm saying is if you have a fake card, make sure you spell Moderna correctly.
And make sure you call me before you go to the games.
Don't be that girl that did that.
Oh, remember?
Yeah. Her mugshot. Yeah. In fact, I used her mugshot.
See?
That was up because that's what I'm the queen of mugshots. That's what I do.
That's what we do here.
There's no way they're going to scan.
I'm never changing.
They're not going to check or scan everybody's vaccine card. What happens if you just forgot it?
What about the lawsuit?
What happens if you didn't read the news or pay attention to social media? You just showed up to the game.
Yeah, what happens if you didn't watch our show and know?
And so you just show up at the game and you don't have your card. Yeah, I'm vaccinated. Well,
my question is, are they going to give
prove it?
Season ticket holders their money back?
Of course not.
Are they going to, if a season ticket holder says,
fine print,
up yours, I'm not going to get vaccinated, give me my money back. And say you're in a very expensive, like, I don't know where it is that we always
luxury box,
one of those,
the parking lot.
I said the parking lot. So when we go, we borrow. So we have friends that sit under the heated section. The seats are heated, so your butt stays warm.
You go to the gala.
The
Met Gala.
The red seats.
The red seats.
Isn't there a guy named Paul something or other? It's Paul something
Paul
or other.
Schaefer?
Paul Revere?
No, you guys are crazy.
Why did I think of Paul Schaefer before Paul Revere?
I don't have any
Who is
idea.
Paul Schaefer?
David Letterman's sidekick.
So yeah, I mean, but what if someone says, "Hey, I want my money back. We want our money back." Are the Buffalo Bills and the
no deal? No,
they can't tell you that you can't use your season tickets if you're not vaccinated. They have to give you your money back.
They just said it.
This has to be an
that's not acceptable.
I hear you.
It has to be an on your honor system. How can they check 75,000 people's vaccine cards? How would you even know to bring it?
Someone is saying, I heard no refunds. That cannot be true.
I got an 18-pack of Blue Light. I don't have my vaccine card. What am I going to do?
There's got to be a ton of lawsuits that are going to come over this. I can't imagine.
Well, what if somebody gets in? What if somebody gets in, they spread COVID, they find out that they didn't show proof of vaccination? Is that on the Bills now? Did the Bills get sued because they're responsible? How about the 80,000 people that went there this past weekend? Did they spread COVID? Is there some sort of empirical data that shows that there was a danger that we now need to prevent? I mean, this is all such a
I think if you drink enough, it kills the virus.
Oh, I've always said that.
That
was our philosophy in law school.
That's my thought. Is if you drink enough, the virus cannot live in your body. And so
makes sense to me.
Alcohol kills germs.
That's why I do what I do. Yes, of course.
So you're drinking Listerine now?
Hashtag science.
But why make this decision yesterday?
Communism?
Why not make this decision
2 months ago
in August or the end of July when they're getting ready for training camp, when they're putting everything together? Why not make that decision? Why wait till?
Well, because back then they thought that everybody was going to take the jab, and now not enough people took the jab, so now they're looking for ways to sell the jab, and one way to sell the jab is to take things away from you and then dangle the carrot over your head. And
I mean,
It's not enforceable. There's no way that
I don't know how they're going to do it, but Kathy Hochul is nothing but a mini Cuomo. We are starting to see that now.
Mini.
She's a mini Cuomo.
he wishes he's a mini her. She's beyond him at this point. I don't think he would have stood for this. He wasn't going to mandate masks in schools. He had already released.
But now she is.
Yeah, he had already come out on the record. I'm not asking my Department of Health to mandate masks this school year. I think that's part of the reason, not to get off on a tangent, I think that's part of the reason why he was kicked out of office. I think the powers to be over the vaccines and the mandates and everything that's going on, I think maybe at some point, now look, make no mistake, I'm not defending Cuomo, but at some point, I think they looked at him and he looked at them and he wasn't playing along anymore. I think he was feeling the heat from the nursing home debacle.
Right.
And I think at some point he probably started telling these people, you know what? I'm not carrying your water anymore on this hoax and on these mandates. I'm just not going to do it. And they're more powerful than him. He was perceived to be the almighty, right? Right. But that the powers to be are always behind the scenes. I'm shocked to hear
you say that's an interesting take on that.
No, I'm assured of that. I've done a lot of thinking about that. Right. I have no proof.
Right.
Do I need to go get my tinfoil hat?
Yes. But no, you tell me why he's gone. Because he touched a girl at a wedding? I don't think so.
Someone's saying, Brian is saying, yes, you can get a refund, but you lose your seat and your seniority.
The seat's the big deal. You've had those seats for 40 years.
They get passed down from family to family.
Yeah. Well, that's the big deal.
Not in Buffalo.
I mean,
sure they do.
This isn't Fenway Park.
Yes, they do. Yeah.
Sure they do.
I mean, 18 years ago, there was nobody in the stadium.
You can't do that. I mean, this is
but extortion. They still paid for the seat, even though they didn't go.
Is it extortion or is it? I mean, really,
they're not going to enforce it.
You're basically telling people you're going to get the shot or you're not going to watch the Bills play football for which you have paid all this money for season tickets.
Brittany agrees with me. Brittany says Cuomo even told the stadium before leaving office to let these people in, vax or not. Yeah. In fact, I was going to bring that up. This was an issue. If you guys recall, there was a time when the rumor was that this was going to be the policy, and then that got squashed quicker than it had come out.
Well, I mean, CMAC had made the decision early on.
Same thing.
Oh, no, you're going to have to be vaxxed. And then there was an uproar.
Yep.
And I went to Hootie. Well, Darius Rucker, you didn't have to show proof of anything. In fact, we didn't even wear a mask. I mean, there were some people wearing masks. There were some people who were not. Whatever.
Hootie.
You know what that is?
I love me some Hootie.
That is freedom. You can choose to wear it or you don't have to wear it. You can get vaxxed or you don't have to get. My 88-year-old mother is vaccinated because she's 88, right? And the chances of her getting pneumonia or something and not surviving, might be, although she is healthy, she's as healthy as a horse, and I swear she's going to outlive all of us.
Katie says no one should show up at the game. I wish that would happen. That's the same thing with the schools, right?
I love Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh, that's what that is? I thought it was Casey and the Sunshine Band.
I thought it said tax the rich.
That's the way. It does say, it does say tax the rich. That's what it says. But no,
that's code for tax the rich.
So I don't know if other stadiums, I don't know if other national football teams.
It's a good point. What other NFL team is doing this?
I don't know.
This is communist New York.
It certainly is. I got to imagine that California.
I was going to say, I can't believe the 49ers and the Rams didn't get out ahead of this.
I'm sure that they're running the same protocol as the state of New York. And you did see.
Well, next week's game,
your boy survived.
Is it next week's game? Is it in Miami or is it home next week's game? I think it's maybe in Miami.
Who cares?
Well, so they got a couple of weeks to figure it out, is what I'm saying.
Go woke, go broke. Well, but first people have to stop showing up to the games if they're going to make that a thing.
That's not going to happen.
They're going to make that a thing. Hey, we hope that you support the We the People podcast network. We hope that you support our advertisers, Fantuzo's Acupuncture, also Taylor Heating and Cooling, Express Sealers, and Precision Lawn and Garden.
And Revere Realty.
Yeah, of course. Revere Realty.
Buy a damn house.
We haven't gotten a letter in a while.
Or you know what? Reach out to me if you want to sell your house, because the market is still really good. Or if you need a house, you don't want to put all your money into rent in an apartment. Let me help you out and I will find you a house. And if it can't be me, there's Patty Bardine or even Tom. can help you buy
Or
a house.
even Tom.
How do you like?
If
Even Tom.
if you want to settle and have Tom, that's fine.
Hold on. Let me clarify. It's either just Tom
Yeah, just
or
Tom.
even Tom. So we got to. Is that his
Yeah.
alternate name? Even Tom.
Yeah,
We have just
exactly.
Tom and even Tom.
So our advertisers took a giant leap and they supported us at the We the People Podcast
did.
Network,
They
and
really
they said
did.
we want to spend our money, and we appreciate the crap out of
Yeah,
them.
Somebody's
So-
got to pay for Austin.
Exactly. And yeah, so if you know someone that wants to, advertise on the show, we would love to have them. We also want to make one programming note next Friday.
Next Friday,
Not this Friday,
the
the 24th. We're having a big
Shindig,
gala.
a gala.
I will wear
Right.
a red dress that says tax the rich.
It's $30,000 a paper plate.
And I'm a hypocrite.
I will wear a red dress. Oh, wait a minute. No, I
You
won't.
can do one of those. What do they say? The upside down keg thing? What is that called?
Keg stand.
Keg stand. Yes.
Should we
Upside
get?
down
There's no
keg.
way
I
we
don't-
can't get a keg, right? That's a bad. That's
That's a bad idea.
That's a
There's
bad
a lot. I'm
idea.
going to just tell you right now, as a radio girl,
That's
that's
a
a
bad
liability
idea.
factor.
We do have a quad downstairs that I could.
That is a liability issue right there. So we
Frank
do not.
the Tank.
Patty says, "Whoop whoop." Yeah, see, I called Patty this morning. Was it
Yeah.
this morning?
You
Was it
mentioned
yesterday?
alcohol, and Patty jumps on finally.
She's all.
We hadn't heard
on-
from Patty yet today.
She's all on board. Kimmy should learn what's going on before. I don't know what's going on there. So Kimmy should learn what's going on before her car pulls onto Titus. Titus is very busy. Is that what they're talking about? I don't know. But
Well, I've seen you make that turn into the building off of Titus. You do like 40 going around the corner.
She comes in on one wheel.
She comes in hot every day.
are you trying to tell me how to drive?
I don't know.
I've been
No.
driving since I was 15
No,
and a
he's
half.
trying to tell you how you do drive.
Right.
I know how I drive. I know exactly how I drive.
A keg of Ultra.
I'm a good
Yeah,
driver.
keg of Ultra, sure.
So
Mick
next
Ultra.
Friday, programming note, we are going to have a party here. We're going to have whatever kind of food that Tom's wife tells him to buy,
and a keg of Mick Ultra.
and whatever, whatever floats your boat. And we just want you to come out and celebrate just the freedom to get on a microphone and have the ability to spout a different opinion, an opinion that might get you canceled elsewhere. So we are grateful for having the ability.
It almost
to,
got us canceled here now, didn't
I know. We're not canceled, are we? People are listening.
I don't know what you're talking
Are
about.
we canceled?
Did we get in trouble earlier? Did we have to hire a lawyer to get ourselves out of trouble?
it? We had to get a lawyer.
A lawyer. That's how you pronounce it. All right. So, what do you do to someone who is accused of treason? They immediately need to resign from their position, right? And
You know,
I'm
what
talking
you know what just occurred to me? How long have I known you?
a year,
A year.
over a year.
All right. So I've been an attorney for 18 years
Mhm.
and I've represented hundreds and hundreds of people. Since
Mhm.
I've known you,
Mhm.
I've had to hire 2 lawyers for myself.
Yeah. Well,
It's amazing. It's an amazing statistic.
okay. I come with baggage. I don't know what your point is, but I come
So,
with
Chad,
baggage.
if you're such a great lawyer, why are you hiring other lawyers for
well,
yourself?
'Cause-
we needed to with the one.
Yeah.
We needed to see what
An attorney that represents himself has a fool for a client.
There you go.
Yeah. So we can't break those stories down here with you
No.
on the podcast, but we certainly can if you come to the party. we will definitely do that. And we just love to see your bright, shiny faces.
100%.
You know, we just love you and we're glad you're here and we want to celebrate you. All right. So there's a book. There is a book. You've heard of Bob Woodward. Everyone's heard of Bob Woodward, right? We know Bob Woodward. We know Woodward and Bernstein. We know Watergate, Nixon. We know Deep Throat. Not what
Deep
you're
State?
thinking. Not what you're thinking.
I've seen that book.
That whole thing. I remember my dad. I was like 9 in 74, and my dad made me watch the Watergate trials. And I'm like, it's in the middle of summer. We don't have freaking air conditioning, and we got a black and white TV.
You know how
Are you
old I was in
serious right now?
74?
Stop it.
I was 0. I was born in 74.
Yay.
Yay.
So that's the Bob Woodward that we're talking about. So Bob Woodward, along with this guy, Robert Costa, have written a book. And according to this new book, President Trump's top military advisor, the Joint Chiefs Chairman, General Mark Milley, single-handedly took secret actions to limit President Trump back in January from potentially ordering a military strike or launching a nuclear weapon after the January 6th attack on the Capitol, or with the insurrection, or the get-together, or whatever they're calling it today.
The peaceful protest.
The peaceful protest. That's according to this book called Peril. It's a book by Bob Woodward. He's a veteran Washington Post reporter. They write that General Milley was certain that Trump had lost his mind and they were going to do something about it, unbeknownst to President Trump. So General Milley not only gets Pelosi involved, but he calls his Chinese counterpart in China. The guy's name is, he's a general called Li Zhaozheng.
God bless you.
Li Zhaozheng. And Milley didn't tell President Trump about his call to his Chinese counterpart.
Shocker.
Either before he made it or afterward. President Trump never knew that this traitor made this phone call. And here is basically what he told the message for his communist counterpart in China. Hey, General Lee, I want to assure you that the American government is stable and everything is going to be okay. We're not going to attack you, but if we do, I'll call you first.
Right.
What?
Didn't General Flynn like almost go to jail and for how many years for just asking a question to his counterpart?
If we are going to attack or conduct any kinetic operations against you, it's not going to be a surprise. I'll let you know. That's like, General Eisenhower saying at the time, ring, ring, ring. Excuse me, Adolf? Yeah, listen, I don't know about Normandy. I don't know if it's really going to happen, but if it does,
we're going to let you know.
We'll let you know.
Yeah.
We'll tell you the time
We'll
and
launch
the
a
date.
flare. We'll launch a flare.
You're right. Well, I'll call you on January or on
Send
June.
you a text or a tweet.
June 6th, maybe about 4:30 in the morning. We'll send up the flare. We'll let you know that the U-boats are coming in to drop off the tree. No worries. We'll let you. Can you imagine?
This guy's a hero, though, because
not
he's
a hero.
anti-Trump.
He is I don't care what your hatred is for Trump.
They're claiming he's a hero.
You do not go against the American public in that way.
All right.
You do not conduct secret talks with the enemy.
Let me ask
No
this.
matter what your hatred is for Trump, you do not, as a U.S. American citizen, have secret talks with the enemy about what your president may or may not be doing.
Yeah, it's all about.
There he is.
It's all about, Biden being the idiot that he is. So they got to make Trump out to be that he was the idiot and he's the one that wanted war and he's the one. And Milley,
I'm sick about this.
Milley was the guy who stopped it all. He stopped Trump from blowing up the world. So he's the hero. That's what it's going to be.
It's a horrible thing. I mean, just let that sink in for a second. If we're going to attack, he says to his communist counterpart in China.
Which were we? I mean, was there?
There's no evidence that we were.
Yeah.
Was Trump talking about attacking China in the last 2-3 days of his tenure as president of the United States of America?
See, I always like to take their version of the events and show, even with their own version of the events, show how ridiculous it is. What if that was even the case? What if Trump actually was whispering, so to speak, right? Which he, by the way, he would have the authority to. He's the president of the United States.
Yeah.
He's the commander in chief, the
Absolutely.
supreme commander in chief. So he has the authority to do it. So let's assume for a moment that he actually was hinting, and it got out that he was going to, put some attack on China. Now somebody goes and does an end around and lets China know.
Mm.
So where does that leave the United States if we do in fact attack China? Their defenses are set.
They're ready to go.
A lot of dead Marines.
A lot of dead military.
Yeah, if somebody calls
like
you
in Kabul.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
Go figure.
There you go.
If somebody calls you and tells you that somebody's about to break into your house, whether they're lying or telling the truth, what are you doing? You're waiting at the front door.
I'm waiting.
And now if somebody innocently,
a glass of lemonade.
Yeah. If somebody innocently shows up, you might shoot them. And you didn't, you shot them and you maybe did it illegally, but you were set up at that point. I mean, this is clearly was going to end in disaster, whether we did or didn't attack them. And if we weren't going to attack them, of course, what if China decided to take some preemptive action against us?
To stop us from doing whatever we're doing.
To stop us from doing what we weren't going to do.
Right. But according to General Milley, apparently he's a mind reader.
Episode of Final Countdown or something? Or on Madam Secretary or West Wing?
That'd be
a good episode.
Austin, do we have the video of the congressman from Pennsylvania? I mean, as you can imagine,
I saw this.
He's livid about it. And here we go.
Well, if true, Maria, if true, there is a word for it, and it sure seems like treasonous activity to me. It seems like exactly what Benedict Arnold did in the past. And so, look, this is the America Last policy of the Obama administration. Now move forward with the most incompetent foreign affairs and foreign policy, national security decisions made ever by then Senator Joe Biden and now President Joe Biden. It's the gang that can't shoot at the enemy and destroys friendships with all our allies and leaves American citizens behind enemy lines. There's got to be accountability. Like I said, Blinken should absolutely resign. Quite honestly, so should Milley. I think that he definitely faces an investigation which might lead to court-martial and then the charges thereafter and the punishment thereafter. I think that we will be calling for that based on this information. Again, if true, because a lot of people throw these charges around. They throw them around with President Trump without any justification whatsoever. But if what is written in this book is true, I think that the investigation absolutely must move forward. And look, it stops at the feet of the commander in chief, and the only remedy there is impeachment. For the next 3 years. So that's where we're headed right now.
Two quick things there.
Okay.
One, the stock market's up. That's a good thing, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And two,
you should be impeached.
And two, Milley, Biden will give Milley the Medal of Freedom.
Of course.
Yeah.
Biden will
for a coup that was in progress.
Right.
So basically,
because it was at Trump. It was against Trump.
Yeah, they tried to pull a coup on him on the way in, and then they tried to pull it on the way out.
Yeah.
And if this is
He'll
true,
get a big medal.
It's got to be one of the scariest things to happen in America.
You think? This is China.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
China. Who's licking their chops, by the way.
Yeah. I mean, this isn't like lowly.
Ready to go.
This isn't like lowly San Francisco. I mean, we have our enemy out there on the West Coast, but I mean, this is China.
right. Berkeley. Somewhere.
This isn't Berkeley.
Right. So I think that we have to be really scared about something like this happening. And there were others, General Milley isn't the only one who knew about this. There were others that knew about this. Pelosi knew about this. There were phone calls with Nancy Pelosi on this situation. There were other military leaders that knew about this, and they did nothing. And then so the two journalists, Bob Woodward, gets together and said, this makes for a great story, but before you run it in the newspaper, let me write a book so I can make money off of it. Instead of telling people that there was an almost coup, that they almost, called a guy in communist China to tell them what was going on. And hey, if we do attack you, we'll let you know ahead of time. I mean, honestly.
Well, what's the thing?
And you do nothing.
What's the thing? Whatever the Democrats are accusing you of doing, they're the ones doing it
for 4 years.
Right.
Who's Gigi? Do we know who Gigi is?
I don't like.
Is that your porn name, Chad?
Gigi's got a nice comment here. I like it.
What's it say?
Gigi's mocking us. Gigi must work for Swoop One Security. That's a good idea, Gigi. I think we should hire Swoop One Security to provide security at our event next Friday.
They are next door. Very cheaper.
Your parking lot is as big as a postage stamp. Your studio is the size of an apartment in a Chinatown. And Irondequoit PD is already waiting to do havoc. Are you sure you can handle a party and pending arrests?
It's a great point.
Are you sure that you want to?
Gigi, are you coming to the party, Gigi?
I can kick your ass. I can do it now, or I can do it later. I mean, whatever you want me to do. I don't know.
Come on,
there
Gigi.
Could be parking on the street.
Tell us who you are, Gigi.
We have 2 parking lots.
Park at the plaza.
Park over at Wegmans and walk over.
Is that Chiefy Laird? Who is that posting under the anonymous?
There's going to be like 7 people come. I mean, what are we getting all crazy about here?
No, I hope more people come. But anyway,
I got to get more hot dogs.
So I want to know, are you going to buy this book from Bob Woodward? See, that's what pisses me off so much is that someone's making $1 off the fact that we've got a treasonous bastard that tried to supersede, or in his mind, whatever he thought Trump was doing, which I don't believe for a second, because what was the reason? Nobody saw anything like that in the last days of Trump's presidency, or they would have said something at the time, don't you think?
You know what I don't get? No, of course, you're 100% right. What I don't understand is this.
The fly-by-night media would have done something on it.
Yeah.
Certainly.
Why would he have allowed this to get into print is my question. I mean, it seems on its face so blatantly treasonous. So I just don't understand how he would have allowed to be quoted on this and how he figured.
Because he's proud of it. That's why.
There's a transcript that is actually included in the book. There's a transcript of a phone call between this General Milley and Nancy Pelosi. I think Pelosi's got to go as well.
Was Pelosi slurring her words as usual?
I have no idea, but that is shocking. It is. I don't know what else to call it.
Yeah.
And I ask you again, are you going to the rally on Saturday in Washington, D.C.?
You already asked me that. Are you trying to trap me?
I'm asking you again.
Hell no.
Do we have to leave at 4 a.m?
One of the news reporters.
You will have to, yeah.
That contacted him this week. I forget who it was.
Yeah.
I think it was, it might have been Dan Schrack from Wham. And we were talking about the Macedon incident, and we're going back and forth, and it was a pretty good interview, and he did an awesome job, I thought. And then just randomly, he asked me, he's like, I just have to ask you quickly as an aside. He's like, you were down at the Capitol on January 6th. He's like, are you going again this weekend? I was like, are we on the record or off the record?
Are you going?
Hell no.
No,
I'm not going.
You're not going?
No, there's nothing to do down there. If I went, I'd probably have to bring like my shotgun or something. It probably wouldn't end
Tom
well,
wanted to have a picnic on the White House lawn. I don't think that's a bad idea.
Can we get a room at the Motel 6 across the street?
I thought it was the Red Roof
the pool.
Again, I think that would be a nice. Maybe we can contact President Trump. Yeah. But here's the thing: you can hate President Trump all you want, but as a general under his presidency, you don't go rogue. You don't go rogue and try to pull off something like what's being written in that book by Bob Woodward.
We don't get 13 servicemen slaughtered at an airport after we tell everybody when and where we're going and when we're leaving. And right, that didn't happen under Trump either. Biden's disgusting.
I know, right?
Gigi. I'm just kidding, Gigi. If you're one of our fans, I apologize, but tell us who you are. Don't you just hate anonymous people?
I think I like anonymous people.
No, they're cowards.
I like anonymous people. So I wanted to talk about the mayor. Well, first off, I want to just give a little update as, Rochester rivals Chicago on the number of murders that happen, to this point. Statistically, we have a higher murder rate than Chicago. I know you don't believe it, but if you do the math, and I'm not a math girl, but someone else did the math and they found out that statistically.
What's a math girl?
I'm not a math girl.
I think that's the girl in Mean Girls. She was the math girl.
She was the math girl,
right,
Katie. Yeah, exactly. So here's the violence report for a day and a half in Rochester from 9/11 to 9/13. 2 murders, 8 people shot, 11 incidents of gunshots fired with nobody struck.
And a partridge in a pear tree.
Which is bad aim, if you ask me. I just got to say it's a bad aim. But
warning shots.
So there we are. Has anyone heard from the mayor at this point? Mayor Lovely Warren. Has anyone heard from her?
Yeah, wasn't she accusing Rochester City cops of things again or something?
Well, we do have a story about where she wants a cop charged. But there's a certain, I don't know if it's a law, and you might be more aware of this, but there is a law that would prevent the officers involved in the Daniel Prude case to be charged at this late date. In fact, I think they had to get in any charges, if they were going to do it by today. I think September 15th, or maybe it was, next week, but it doesn't look like any charges.
Sounds like what you're referring to is a statute of limitations.
But it's not. They don't call it the statute of limitations, though. But here's what they want to do. They want to change that specifically for this case.
30-30.
Although I think numerous individuals have agreed that these officers did nothing wrong and a grand jury chose not to indict.
Correct.
Right? And I think that the police chief, the interim police chief, agreed with the grand jury. Okay, so they follow protocol. in the Daniel Prude case. Daniel Prude was high on drugs. He was twice picked up while he was out on a street. And the second time that he was out on the street, he ended up getting himself killed.
Hospital didn't want him.
Right.
Family didn't want him. They wanted him turned over to the police. Then the police show up, and then they get mad at the police.
So Rochester Mayor Lovely Warren has decided, against the advice and the findings of other police department and outside law firms, and she wants to change this law so that one of the officers can be charged with the death of Daniel Prude. But no one has heard her. The violence and the bloodshed on city streets the last 4 weeks is unbelievable.
4 weeks or 4 years?
4 weeks, 5
years.
weeks. I mean, the amount of people killed
Since 1950.
in the last several weeks, just here in Rochester, would take, I don't know how many, gallons of Clorox to get rid of the blood stains on city streets. And I'm not making a joke about that. I'm like, in one weekend, I think we had 6 murders. It goes back to July. Have we heard from the mayor on this situation? Have we heard from the police chief?
Nope.
Who is
we have one of those?
Who is basically Mayor Lovely Warren's shadow. We've heard nothing, right?
Well, that's because that's all gun violence. We got to go after the guns.
So I didn't know if you had a take on this situation.
Chad, I got to buy Gigi a drink for the last comment. You got to go back and look at that last comment.
Uh-oh. What was
I got to buy him or her a good game.
Did I defame somebody?
You're living in Chad's head rent free. It's beautiful.
You're living in my head.
I got the first round.
You're on our monitor. You're on our monitor rent free, and that's fine.
Here's the thing.
Just be thankful that you're on there for rent free.
The people who think that they're living in our heads.
I don't have a head.
We don't give a rat's ass about
This is what we're here for.
We don't give a rat's ass.
That's so funny.
Nothing lives in Tom's head.
No,
we know that.
There's not anything in there.
No, and I don't think about anyone. Anyone who thinks that I'm thinking about them.
Well, now that you have short hair, everything changed.
I cut my hair. I did. All of a sudden, I cut half my brains off.
Right.
But you know what? I'm a big enough girl to admit that. And I don't care.
All right, so what take was I supposed to have?
I'm just saying right now, we do not have leadership for this city.
No, of course not.
We don't have even.
She's under how many criminal indictments? She has to fend for herself at this point.
2 felony criminal indictments.
How could she be the leader of the city? She has to fend for herself right now.
Here's what I did not know about the Daniel Prude case and the police contact that he had on Jefferson Avenue on the night of March 23rd, 2020. The second time police came into contact with him, for the first time, they took him to Strong and Strong released him.
Correct.
And then police are called out because he's running down a street naked, high on whatever he's high on.
He was naked.
He was naked as a jaybird.
He was butt naked.
I said, Mabel, don't look. Okay, it's a song. Never mind.
Are we going back to the 60s again?
It's the 70s. I said, don't look. But
maybe do some 80s. I know naked. 80s. I know Cyndi Lauper.
Naked as a jaybird.
Def Leppard.
Did you know that people on Jefferson Avenue were heckling and throwing things at him? Yes. His people on Jefferson Avenue were not helping him before police got there, but were throwing rocks at him and running video and then, calling him all sorts of names. Not helping one of their...
Not being a good Samaritan.
Not being a good human.
Yeah.
But the people on Jefferson Avenue were basically making a very bad situation worse. And police ultimately show up and whatever happens. And then, of course, you have all these, I was there and I saw what was going on. Well, were you one of the hecklers throwing rocks? That is a true story.
Wow.
They weren't trying to help one of their own. They were throwing rocks at the guy. Will you hear that on any news channel?
First I've heard of it.
No, you won't hear that on any news channel.
You heard it here first. Tom and I, just Tom heard it here first.
Can I just tell you, if someone
just did
in my neighborhood in Greece,
your gated community,
I see them. I don't live in a gated community.
With paper plates.
Yeah, with paper plates. Yeah.
It's the only gated community in America that uses paper plates.
That's how we roll.
and they wash them.
If I see someone running down my street naked, obviously not.
I'm grabbing my binoculars
in their right head. Well, in my neighborhood, you see some of those women. They're hot. But don't you go out and try to help them? Hey, listen, you know what? Come over here. I got a blanket. Let me help you. Yeah, they're out of their mind on drugs.
You call the police. And then when the police show up, you video record it. And
apparently, that's what we do now.
And then you release the tape to CNN.
And then you get a lot of Twitter followers.
And then you riot.
Right.
And
then you burn cars in the middle of the city and you break windows of businesses and then you loot them.
Yep. And then the talking heads talk about the rioters and the looters.
And then someone says something stupid and she gets fired.
And then they get a new job and then they get a letter.
It's always got to be about you, Kimberly.
And it all comes full circle.
And then I have to hire a lawyer.
And then you hired a lawyer.
And I go get the checkbook.
And here we are next Friday having a party to celebrate the whole debacle. All I'm saying is if I'm naked running down the street, I would hope that my neighbors wouldn't throw rocks at me and heckle me. I would hope as a good human being.
I'd come put a spit hood on you.
That, please. Again, officers followed all protocol. What is Mayor Lovely trying to do? She's trying to get out of office with some semblance of something to hang her hat on.
Yeah.
And this isn't going to work. This isn't going to work. Basically, up yours, Mayor Lovely Warren. This isn't going to work.
Stick it where the sun doesn't shine.
Next Friday is our party. Whether you like us or not, come out and say hello.
Rain or shine.
In a respectful way. Thankful for the freedom that we have to speak what we will here on this podcast. That's all.
Get a bag of chips and a wiener.
What is your wife telling you you're serving? That's all I
don't know. She wants me to cater it, and I can't do that.
Is your
white
father,
gloves? Are you going to wear white gloves?
Are you coming, Dad?
Are you coming, Dad?
Next Friday? All right.
Dad's coming.
You can meet my dad.
I'm going to wear my hat. We'll be twinsies. All right.
I'm telling the listeners they can meet my dad.
Oh, gotcha. Sorry.
Yeah,
Austin, is your dad going to come? He has the same birthday as me.
I'll bring my mother.
I'm not sure yet.
I'll bring Lois.
You're supposed to ask your dad to come so I can do a drink with him.
I'll ask him.
We want to see everyone there, of course, in all good faith, just because we love the support, for the show. So, all right, possibly a program note on Friday. We might have a podcast with the lady that has that had a.
Are we talking this Friday?
Happy hour.
It could be this Friday with my friend who was almost damaged beyond belief by this Dr. Wartman. And it's a horrible, horrible story. So we will let you know on that. Tom will send out a text to let everyone know. Are you on today? Or was that yesterday? What day are you on?
Chad doesn't know what day he's on.
What day is it?
I was supposed to be on yesterday.
Are you going to be on today?
I was supposed to do a Facebook Live yesterday out at court.
Got freedom?
Things got a little riled up out there, so I didn't get a chance to do it.
So got freedom today?
No, next Tuesday.
Got Freedom doesn't believe in schedules.
Got Freedom will be back next Tuesday at 4.
Got Freedom makes his own schedule.
Right.
All right. Very good. That's going to do it for the We the People podcast network of Kimberly's Revolution for today. Again, possibly on Friday, we might have after 4:00 a podcast. We will let you know on that. But as we always say, Tom.
Love, Dad.
And?
God bless. Be kind to others. I forgot.
Rejuvenate, restore, refresh, and heal. At Fantuzo Acupuncture, we seek to help achieve effective health and wellness in an elegant spa-like atmosphere. Fantuzo Acupuncture specializes in traditional acupuncture, cosmetic anti-aging acupuncture, acupressure, cupping, CBD topical creams, and more. Approach healthcare holistically. Visit FantuzoAcupuncture.com to book online today. FantuzoAcupuncture.com.
From attic to basement, we're here for you. It's quality service in all we do. Call Taylor. 500 help.